Daniel. Good morning, everybody. I've not used this very much, so I assume it's working. Appreciate the few minutes to visit with everybody this morning. And I think I know most everybody in the sanctuary on some level, but for those of you who don't know me, my name's Jeff Hicks. My beautiful wife, Carrie, and I have been members of First United Meridian since 2005, so about 12 years. And today I serve on the finance team, which is part of our administrative board. And Daniel had asked me to come say a few words about the upcoming capital project. And one thing about any organization that's considering an investment in their, he just says I have to talk closer. Any organization that's considering an investment in their infrastructure has to ask and answer a lot of important questions, right? And those center around what, why, and how. This morning, I'm not going to cover what and how so much. We're going to do that in the town hall meetings that are referenced here. But I'd like to speak a little bit about why. And, in that light, if you think about it, one of the things that I love most about our church, and if I sound a little prideful here, you'll have to excuse me, is the legacy and history surrounding our congregation. And I'm going to look to Kenneth to keep me honest on all of my facts and figures here because he's our historian. But if you do the math, we have been serving Christ in this community for over 160 years now. And if you think about that, it doesn't matter if we're talking about a church or any other organization. If you try to stack up a list of organizations that have been continuously in service for that long, it's a short list, right? And so it's one of the things that I've always had a sense of, and I don't think it's by accident, right? I think that as a congregation, we have a history of living out our purpose, and that is we've always consistently shared our gifts, our time, and our talent with the community overall. And I think a lot of the grace of God, as well as a lot of genuine acts of faith and kindness, have kept us relevant in our community over those years. The other thing that I would say is and this is sort of in our ethos as a congregation, we have a wonderful tradition of celebrating our history, the best traditions of our congregation and our faith, as well as looking to the future. And if you look at those that came before us, they've done a wonderful job in doing that through the years. They've made investments in our congregation and our building during possibly some of the worst times that we can remember. This building was built in the 50s, which anybody that's in the farming and ranching industry knows was one of the worst droughts ever in the history of the United States. The one before it was built during the Great Depression, which, can you imagine, sitting here and asking for money and investment during that time? Quite an act of faith, right? And so I think it's wonderful to recognize that legacy. From a purely practical standpoint, we are blessed with a wonderful team on the administrative board, and particularly our trustees who have done some great work in vetting out the project. When I say that, there's always wants versus needs. They've done a great job in focusing on the needs of what we need today to operate as a congregation, to continue our mission, but also what we need for the future, with that eye on the future. I think that when, as a congregation, when we have come together, we've recognized that there's nothing we can't do. Evidence sits right outside with the Family Life Center. There's a new roof on this church, and the youth building has recently been redone. Those are great examples of us accomplishing goals just like this. So we can absolutely do this. Last but not least, I'll leave you with this. We can all agree that a building does not define a congregation, right? I think that if this building was not here, we would still exist. That said, we have been blessed with a wonderful facility here on Main Street in a wonderful town. Since Kenneth, 1953, do I have that date correct? 57, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off there. But so for a number of years, we've been blessed with that. And, when I think about it and what the future means, Daniel often talks about the opportunity to slow down in an ever-changing world and celebrate the things that are most important, celebrate the love of God. And I think what this building is, and I'm a little bit emotional about this, but this building is a defiant symbol of safe harbor in that ever-changing world. And while I said it does not define us as a congregation, I think it is a signal in our belief in the future of our congregation and the future of our faith and what we can accomplish together as a team. And so humbly, I would ask for all of your participation in one of the town halls so we can learn more about what and how. And I would also ask for your support as we enter into this project. So thank you all very much.